Ever seen a fire suddenly burst into a huge explosion? That's a backdraft. It's like a sleeping monster in a fire that doesn't have enough air. When the air rushes in, the backdraft wakes up and boom! It's dangerous. It can hurt people, break things, and unfortunately, even kill. But there's a way to stand strong against it. Are you curious to find out how you can spot a backdraft before it happens? Let's find out. So, fire needs three things: fuel, heat, and oxygen. Together, they make up what we call the fire triangle. It's a simple concept, but vital to understand. As the fire burns, it sucks up all the available oxygen. Without enough oxygen, the fire can't keep up, and it begins to slow down. But it's not out, not by a long shot. It's more like waiting for its chance to come back into action. When someone suddenly opens a door or a window, fresh oxygen jumps in. The fire, which was merely flaming before, now finds new life. It leaps back into action with so much energy that it creates a sudden, violent explosion. That, my friends, is a backdraft. Now, when people discuss backdrafts, you may come across some hefty scientific terms. Deflagration is one of them. It's just a technical term for super fast, intense burning, which is exactly what's happening during a backdraft. Overpressure is another term you might encounter. It refers to the strong shock wave that rips through the area when a backdraft happens. This powerful blast is what causes the extensive damage during a backdraft event. But there's no reason to panic, because with the right knowledge, we can recognize the early warning signs of a backdraft. How do we do that, you ask? There are some specific pre-backdraft conditions that act as warning bells. The first thing to watch out for is the smoke. If it's going from black to a dense grayish yellow without any visible flames, that's a red flag. A rule of thumb is, the darker the smoke, the more incomplete the combustion. If the building is well sealed, it could suggest air confinement and excessive heat buildup, both ingredients for a potential backdraft. We also need to be aware of high concentrations of flammable carbon monoxide. This gas can build up as a result of incomplete combustion and add fuel to the fire. What about flames? If flames are visible, they might appear blue in color. Alternatively, there might be little or no visible flame at all. Either way, these signs, particularly if you see flames in the smoke exiting the structure, especially around the roof space, can indicate a backdraft situation. Another sign is smoke leaving the building in puffs, only to be drawn back in. The fire is trying to find oxygen, and it gives an appearance of smoke being sucked in under doors or through cracks. Lastly, check out the windows. If they are stained brown, or if they're visibly cracking or rattling, take it as a warning sign. Spotting these early indications can give you valuable time to respond to a potential backdraft. But just how dangerous can it get? Physically, a backdraft is an incredibly destructive force. When it explodes, it can throw people around like toys, resulting in what we call blast injuries. These can range from minor scrapes and bruises to severe trauma requiring immediate medical attention. Then there's the extreme heat. It can cause serious burns, the kind that can take weeks or even months to heal and leave lasting scars. But the damage a backdraft causes isn't limited to the human body. The force of the explosion can cause structural damage. When a backdraft occurs, the force of the explosion can be so strong that it literally blows out walls and windows. Just think about it. One moment it's a home or a store, and the next, it's a mountain of wreckage. And surviving a backdraft isn't something you easily forget. The terror, the noise, the heat, the destruction. It can all lead to psychological trauma. Survivors may experience nightmares, flashbacks, and other symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. That's why we need to take it seriously. But we can prevent a backdraft or at least lessen its impact. How exactly? Let's find out. But before that, if you are finding this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends and family. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon too, so you will be the first to know when we release new videos. Now, let's get back to backdrafts. Our knowledge here is truly our first line of defense. When we truly comprehend how fire behaves, how they change and grow, we can react intelligently and efficiently to keep ourselves and others safe. We need to consider a few essential steps. Your safety should always be the priority. Firstly, you should perform a thorough 360-degree size-up of the situation before moving in. This means assessing the environment completely, not just the visible fire. While doing so, always ensure you've put on in full personal protective equipment. Now, ventilation is a significant factor in preventing backdrafts. Ensure you create vertical ventilation before making entry. This reduces the buildup of heat and gases that can ignite and cause a backdraft. But what if a backdraft is suspected? There are a few important steps to follow. Always ensure you are operating from a position of safety. Have an escape route planned out. It could mean the difference between a close call and a disaster. Another preventative measure you can use is penciling the ceiling with a straight water stream without disturbing the thermal layer. This technique cools the gases below their ignition temperature, which can stop a backdraft before it starts. Shan Rafael, an experienced station officer, also provides invaluable insights. He cautions against relying on a single indicator. Backdraft can be more prevalent in energy-efficient buildings due to good insulation and sealed windows. These structures trap heat and gases, creating a ripe environment for backdrafts. He further highlights that a developing fire may deplete the available oxygen before it can flash over, or it may rapidly decline due to lack of oxygen and the growing volume of combustion products. A tactical ventilation plan becomes paramount in such scenarios to remove, confine, or dilute the accumulated fuel. So, being prepared, spotting early signs, understanding how to react, and having a plan in place can save lives and property. In conclusion, backdrafts are not just fiery explosions in movies. They are real, they are dangerous, and they can cause significant damage and even loss of life. But with the right knowledge, we can protect ourselves and others. Remember, preventing a backdraft starts with a solid understanding of the fire triangle: fuel, heat, and oxygen. Spot the early signs of a backdraft, like the darkening smoke turning into a grayish yellow color, or the smoke puffing out and being drawn back into the building. These clues can be the key to stopping a disaster before it happens. Thanks for watching this video. Remember, when it comes to fire safety, your knowledge might be the one thing that stands between a close call and a catastrophe. Stay safe and stay vigilant.